President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed student loan bill into law. Senator Akpabio elected as the president of the 10th Senate of Nigeria. Customs intercept over 100 small goods, sport utility vehicles and others. On business news, NNPC issues directive to marketers on reformed milk price. On international scene, France, Germany and Poland back Ukraine's counter-offensive in a show of unity. On sport update, Guardiola takes decision on leaving Man City after winning. Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television Show. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has signed the student loan bill into law. Reacting, the Academic Staff Union of Universities described the loan bill as discriminatory between the children of the rich and the poor. ASU National President Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, in an interview with Newsman, said, the union will react soon, but everyone knows their position on student loans because they will end up encumbering the children of the poor with loans and debts after graduating. He added that if what he read online is correct, it is only for children whose parents earn at least 500,000 naira per annum, which means if their father earns more, they won't benefit. Senator Akpabio has been elected as the president of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Senator Akpabio polled 63 votes, while his challenger, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, polled 46 votes. Similarly, Senator Jibril Barrow has been elected Deputy Senate President. Senator Jibril Barrow is returned unopposed. Our correspondent, Ibrahim Dosara, has the report of the election and inauguration.
The inauguration of the 10th National Assembly began with the elections at both chambers, the Senate chamber and the chamber of the House of Representatives. At the Senate chamber, two people contested for the position, that is Senator Akpabio and Senator Abdulaziz Yari from Zamfara. And at the end of the election, Senator Akpabio defeated Senator Yari, where he scored 63 votes against Senator Yari, who scored 46. After which, the Akpabio was declared the winner of the election and also was inaugurated along with his deputy Jibril Barrow from Kano State. The Senate President Akpabio did a fantastic speech where he called on every senator to give him support and cooperation and also asked them to work together as a team to help the president, especially to tackle issues of insecurity, and also asked them to support Mr. President on the issue of fuel subsidy, which President announced and is pursuing vigorously. And this is how the speech went.
Is hereby declared and returned President of the Senate. You can now.
And I'll work with you, for you, beside you. I'll be a Senate President that will stand for all, including distinguished Senator Yari. Whether he was qualified to contest or not did not matter. What mattered is that democracy took root right here in these chambers today. So let me congratulate you for a hard fight. The country is at a crossroads. We are grappling with a lot of difficulties. We are just inherited an economy that requires renewal, revitalization. I want to thank our dear President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and the Vice President Kashim Shettima, GCON, for the steps they've taken so far, which has given a lot of hope to the entire Nigerian Federation and even the West African sub-region as a whole. I want to assure Mr. President that no matter what name the Senate is called, we are here to do national duties. this Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians. And so long as the policies that come to these chambers concern the empowerment and upliftment of Nigerians, we shall dwell and deliberate and then have robust debate on them with public hearings.
At the chamber of the House of Representatives, there was also such election where 3 contestants participated in the election. We have Tajuddin Abbas, who contested along with 2 others, that is the former Deputy Speaker Wase and Aminu Sanin Jaji. Tajuddin Abbas was able to defeat the other 2 contestants with a total vote of 356 out of 33 votes. And at the end of the day, Tajuddin Abbas was declared as the winner of the election and declared elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and he was inaugurated. With the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, Mr. President is now having the gut to work assiduously with the 10th National Assembly to ensure the reforms Mr. President is wishing to bring during his tenure. And like the Senate President has appealed to the senators, also the Speaker of the House of Representatives appeal to the members of the House to give maximum cooperation and support to the 2 chambers, especially to the elected leaders, as well as Mr. President, so that there will be harmonious working relations between the legislature and the executives to ensure that Nigerians benefit and reap the benefits of democracy, especially at this material time when Nigeria is facing serious crisis in terms of economy as well as security. I am Ibrahim Dosara for SBTV News.
Biliaminu Ismail from Zurmi West constituency in Zurmi local government area of Zamfara State has been elected as the new Speaker for Zamfara State House of Assembly. Recall that Biliamin Ismail of the PDP, who hails from Moriki Town, defeated the erstwhile Speaker Naziru Muazu Magaria of the APC. Also elected was the Deputy Speaker of the House Adamu Aliyu of Gumi 2 constituency in Gumi local government area. The Deputy Governor Malamani Malamumuni, who attended the inauguration ceremony, called on lawmakers to ensure cordial working relationship with the legislature and the executive arm of the government. The Deputy Governor expressed optimism that with harmonious working relationship between the executive and the legislature, people of the state will surely reap the dividend of democracy. A medical doctor was reportedly killed on Monday, June 12th, when some alleged terrorists attacked Jangebe, a community in Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State. Reports gathered that on Tuesday morning, the assailants also abducted no fewer than 10 people, including members of the slain doctor's family. It was gathered that the fully armed criminals stormed the community around 1 a.m. and started shooting sporadically and forcefully broke the wall of the doctor's house to gain entrance. In a related development, troops of the Nigerian army, fighting to rid Zamfara of criminal elements on Monday, stormed their hideouts in some villages and after a gunfight, neutralized 3 terrorists while others escaped with gunshot injuries. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Musa Dan Madami, who made this known, said troops recovered arms and ammunition as well as logistic materials after the encounter. The Military High Command commends troops of Operation Hadar Daji and encourages the general public to avail troops with credible and timely information on terrorists and all criminal activities within their area. Zamfara State pilgrims have been called upon to always keep their rooms and environments clean. The call was made during a tafsir and interactive session between religious leaders, stakeholders, officials, and pilgrims at the Kazai Hotel. The Commission have been organizing tafsirs frequently to enlighten the pilgrims about Hajj exercise generally. The Commission and the hotel officials have been holding meetings to ensure tight security of the hotel as a result of strangers coming in as pilgrims to commit crime. Many resolutions were adopted at the end of the meeting. They include every pilgrim must show his or her visa before entering the hotel, and all pilgrims must always be with their ID cards and show it before being allowed into the hotel premises. The pilgrims must also be with their tags given to them by the Saudi Arabian agency as its guests and always be with their uniforms, either complete or with head ties. For the women, for the most of the cases, were usually from the women's side. The pilgrims were also urged to stop giving strangers their tags, ID cards, and uniforms. Nigeria's former Chief of Army Staff and the former ambassador to Benin Republic, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, retired, has described the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a succinct, democratically elected president of Nigeria as another milestone in Nigeria's march to an enduring democracy. General Tukur Buratai said this in a congratulatory message he sent to the president and the Nigerian people on the occasion of the 2023 Democracy Day celebration. He said the president has seen it all in his struggles to ensure democracy takes root in Nigeria. He said Tinubu's years in the trenches in the early 1990s brought him out as a true Democrat. The former ambassador also congratulated Nigerians for their resilience since 1999 to ensure democracy is sustained through their votes. He said with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Nigeria's democratic saddle today, his renewed hope agenda was a sure way to Nigeria's greatness in all ramifications of national development. General Tukur Buratai reiterated his commitment to ensuring his untiring support to the president as having started in the right direction and called on all Nigerians to support the president to achieve his vision for the country. A political support group of President Bola Tinubu on Monday hailed the contributions of late Chief MKO Abiola and former Chief of Army Staff Tukur Buratai for upholding the country's unity. The group, under the aegis of Bola Ahmed Tinubu Vanguard, noted that while the late politician and businessman should be remembered for championing the cause of democratic struggle on June 12, 1993, Buratai should also be honored for spearheading a transformative campaign to restore peace and stability to the embattled regions in the north. For more on the story, Ibrahim Dusara has the details.
A statement issued in Abuja on Monday by the Publicity Secretary of the BAT Vanguard, Femi Ebute, emphasized that the nation needs to honor its past and secure the future while reflecting on the gains of June 12. Ebute also praised former President Muhammadu Buhari for immortalizing Abiola when he declared June 12 as Democracy Day in Nigeria in 2018. While stating that more attention always seems to be given to people in control of Nigeria's leadership, with little concern for people like Buratai, who fought to rescue the country from division, chaos, and insurgency. He said, assuming duty as the Chief of Army Staff, General Tukur Buratai dealt a great blow with the Boko Haram sect, thereby providing stability to Nigerian democracy. The Publicity Secretary also said with the bombings at United Nations House, Police Headquarters, Nyanya Motor Park, Abacha Barracks Market, and their consistent propaganda, Nigerians became afraid and began to develop a sense of defeat psychologically. However, under the leadership of Tukur Yusuf Buratai, the Nigerian army underwent comprehensive reforms with emphasis placed on enhancing training, intelligence gathering, and collaboration with international partners. He said, through Operation Lafia Dole, he mobilized troops across the frontiers, engaging in fierce battles against Boko Haram insurgents, significantly degrading their capabilities. Ibrahim Dosara reporting for SVTV News.
The Nigeria Customs Service on Monday announced that it intercepted over 100 exotic vehicles, including various models of sport utility vehicles, adding that 38 of them had been forfeited to the federal government. It also called on stakeholders to synergize with officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service to effectively suppress the menace of the smuggling vehicles into Nigeria. The Deputy Comptroller of Customs, who doubles as the coordinator, Rapid Response Squad Headquarters, Jack Okpabi, disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja while providing updates on his team's quarterly achievements. Commenting on the smuggled vehicles that were intercepted, he said that the recent operation by the NSC, which led to the interception of the over 100 Toyota Hilux, Toyota Land Cruiser and other models of exotic vehicles had saved the country from losing huge revenue that would have gone down the drain. He emphasized that the service will not hesitate to bring to book any offender caught smuggling vehicles into Nigeria. A statement by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Enes Afolabi, indicated that Nigeria was alerted on the outbreak of the zoonotic disease in northern Ghana, Burkina Faso and Togo. The statement therefore called for caution and vaccination of animals in the states of Kebbi, Sokoto, Niger, Kwara, Oyo, Ogun and Lagos. According to the statement, the disease has so far claimed the lives of farmers and the livestock in the neighboring countries. It was advised that the general public should desist from the consumption of hides, otherwise known as pomo, smoked meat and bush meat, as they pose a serious risk until the situation is brought under control. Meanwhile, the ministry, through the Permanent Secretary, is urging members of the public to remain calm and vigilant, as the federal government has resuscitated a standing committee on the control of the anthrax in the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. The Energy and the Natural Resources Subcommittees of the Advisory Council of President Bola Tinubu has revealed that Nigeria lost $46.16 billion to crude oil theft between 2009 and 2020, while it lost $10.7 billion annually to subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. For more on the story, Alamin Ibrahim reports.
A summation of the amount lost to oil theft and subsidy indicated that the country lost a total of $56.86 billion, going by figures released in the Policy Advisory Council report, dated May 2023, which was prepared when Tinubu was still president-elect. On highlights of economic and sector challenge in the report, the council also stated that $70 billion worth of investment was lost in the petroleum industry since 2011 due to the absence of the Petroleum Industry Act. The PIA was signed into law by former President Muhammadu Buhari after dragging for decades as a bill at the National Assembly. The report further pointed out that at 7%, Nigeria's revenue to gross domestic product ratio was among the 5 lowest in the world. The council outlined some targets to be pursued by the president between 0 to 100 days, adding that there was a need to unify exchange rate window, reorganize the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Alami Ibrahim reporting for SBTV.
Now on business news. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has issued a fresh circular to oil marketers on how much they will pay to get petroleum products. This came about 2 weeks after the federal government announced the removal of fuel subsidy. NNPCL Retail, in a circular released on Sunday, directed marketers to consider merging their old orders, which carry the old fuel price, in order to buy a truck of 45 million litres of petrol. Reports gathered that marketers had, before the deregulation, ordered one truck of petrol for about 7.7 million naira. However, the new circular by the company advised marketers who had probably ordered 3 trucks at 7.5 million naira, 171 naira per litre old price, to match their orders or ask for a refund. Chief Executive Officer 11 PLC, Tunji Oyebanji, said removing petrol subsidies is one of the best decisions Nigeria would ever make because smuggling would stop, adding that this is the time they will know the real petrol consumption of Nigeria. Now on international news.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
The leaders of France, Germany and Poland met in Paris Monday for talks focusing on military support for Ukraine's counter-offensive and future security guarantees to be given to the country ahead of NATO summit in July. French President Emmanuel Macron said The Ukrainian counter-offensive began several days ago in a joint news conference with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Poland's President Andrzej Duda at the LC Presidential Palace. In a show of unity, the three leaders insisted they would continue to support Ukraine for as long as necessary. Macron said the offensive is set to be deployed over several weeks, if not months. They have done everything to help them within the limits they have set themselves at the start of the conflict. Now on sport update. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola will leave the role when his current contract expires in 2 years. Last weekend, Guardiola finally led the Premier League side to Champions League glory, defeating Inter Milan 1-0 in Istanbul. The win completed the treble for City, as they had already retained their league crown and lifted the FA Cup. But it is understood that Guardiola has all but decided that he will quit in the summer of 2025 and end his tenure after 9 years. Guardiola signed a new deal with the Etihad club in November, a decision that had been in the balance and which his inner circle were unsure would happen. And that's all we have a news update for today. But before we go, a recap of the major headlines. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed student loan bill into law. Senator Akpabio elected as the president of the 10th Senate of Nigeria. Customs intercept over 100 small goods sport utility vehicles and others. On business news, NNPC issues directive to marketers on reformed milk price. On international scene, France, Germany and Poland back Ukraine's counter-offensive in a show of unity. On sport update, Guardiola takes decision on leaving Man City after winning. Thanks for watching. That's the news. I'm Monica from Mohammed. You have a nice day.